Ciao, my name is Umberto Mucci and this is We the ItaliaNews, a podcast about Italy during coronavirus times. Today is Monday, February 14, 2022. Today is San Valentine, or San Valentino as we call it here. So happy San Valentino to all those who are in love. Me, I'm in love with my wife and my daughter. I'm very lucky. Did you know that San Valentine was a 3rd century Roman saint? From the high Middle Ages, his saint's day has been associated with the tradition of celebrating love. He is also a patron saint of Terni, a beautiful town in Umbria. Once again, when something beautiful is celebrated all around the world, it comes from something or someone Italian. Just a few numbers about the situation of the contagion in Italy, where things are going in the right direction and with an encouraging speed. Over the past 7 days, with regard of the new positive cases, we averaged a percentage change of minus 30.8% compared with the previous 7 days. In the same period, the average change in the number of patients admitted to ordinary COVID wards was minus 13.2% and minus 16.8% in the intensive care units. On average, in the last 7 days, we had 204 deaths a day, with a variation of minus 14.4% compared to the previous 7 days. Italy has exceeded 10 million official cases, and therefore 1 Italian in 6 has had COVID. In reality, they are probably many more. Certainly some Italians have caught it and remained asymptomatic, so they are not officially counted. But this 4th wave is rapidly slowing down. Infections are declining in all age groups, while vaccinations among young people are increasing. The RT infection index drops to 0.89, well under the threshold of 1, below which there is evidence of a pandemic receding. In the last period, Italy has done many more swabs than at the beginning of the pandemic. This, together with the greater spread of the Omicron variant, has caused the fact that there have been more infections in the last month and a half than in the whole pandemic before. The vaccines have saved us from hospitalizations and are helping us to get out of it. To date, 91% of those over 12 have received their first dose in Italy. Finally, from tomorrow, workers in the public and private sectors who are at least 50 years old or turned them by June 15 will have to possess to enter their place of work the Super Green Pass, the green certification resulting from the vaccine or healing, and just from them. It will no longer be possible for them to enter the workplace thanks to a negative swabs no older than 48 hours as has happened until now. Workers at least 50 years old are 8.8 million in Italy. Those employed in the health, school and security sector were already obliged to have the anti-COVID vaccine in order to work. The decree that came into force on January 8, which introduced the mandatory vaccine for the over 50, has had some effect. In the age group between 50 and 59 years, Italians were about 1 million unvaccinated at the beginning of the year, and today are 681,000. Still too many, if you ask me. The COVID crisis has made Italian families less inclined to consume, increasing the tendency to save, this time due to fears linked to the health and economic emergency of the last 2 years. If public debt is Italy's weak point, private savings are the envy of Europe. According to a research just published since the outbreak of the pandemic, the financial wealth of Italian families has grown by 334 billion and has moved towards more liquid assets perceived as less risky. Fearing a worsening of the pandemic between current accounts and cash, Italians have accumulated over 153 billion more in the form of deposits, a growth of around 11% since the outbreak of the virus. The increase of 334 billion refers to the period from January 2020 to September 2021. In that period of time, the financial wealth of households has grown at a monthly average of 15.9 billion in Italy. In addition, insurance reserves increased by about 90 billion in the 2-year period, marking a leap of 8% compared to 2019, with a portfolio of about 1,200 billion and with the share of pension products almost doubling in 15 years, plus 93%. The net wealth of Italian families continues to be the highest on the continent. We are the best savers in Europe, and yet our state has the highest public debt. The Ministry of Culture has chosen the 10 finalists for the 2024 edition of the Italian Capital of Culture. Over the years, the title of Capital of Culture has been awarded to the cities of Cagliari in Sardinia, Lecce in Puglia, Perugia in Umbria, Ravenna in Emilia-Romagna, and Siena in Tuscany, Mantua in Lombardy, Pistoia in Tuscany, Palermo in Sicily, Parma in Emilia-Romagna, Procida in Campania is the capital in 2022, Bergamo and Brescia in Lombardy will be the capitals in 2023. Here are the finalist cities vying for the title of Capital of Culture for 2024. Ascoli Piceno and Pesaro are in the Marche region, Chioggia and Vicenza are in Veneto, Grosseto and Viareggio in Tuscany, Mesagne in Apulia, Sestri Levante in Liguria, Siracusa in Sicily, and the Union of Municipalities Paestum Alto Cilento is in Campania. In addition to COVID, Italy has three major problems that are worrying Italians. One of them is related to the wrong way in which some laws were written 2 years ago that allocated funds for building renovations that could help Italians to make their homes greener, reduce pollution, improve energy efficiency, and make many buildings more sustainable, and at the same time to restart the construction and building sector. The government of 2 years ago used the tool of several bonuses and together with the parliament enacted laws that sought to facilitate simplicity in the use of these bonuses, but they exaggerated and in doing so ended up facilitating many frauds. It is unfortunate to say this because unfortunately Italy has a serious problem of excessive bureaucracy, but excessively facilitating access to public money without establishing controls inevitably leads to many people taking advantage of it and cheating the state. President Reagan said, "Trust but verify," and let's say that this is a rule that applies to Italy as well. So now the current government, which is very different from the one that existed 2 years ago, is in the situation of having to change these rules because spot checks have uncovered fraud for 4.2 billion euros, about 12% of the entire business of building bonuses. And in the words of one of the investigators, this is only the beginning. The second and third problems that worry Italians are linked. Against the enormous rise in energy prices that is compromising the recovery of the Italian economy, the government is thinking of starting the search and cultivation of hydrocarbons. The goal, in particular, is doubling the extraction for the national gas fields in all of Italy except a few regions, Valle d'Aosta, Trentino Alto Adige, Liguria, Umbria, part of Tuscany and Sardinia. All, of course, respecting the protection of the environment and the safety of natural areas. But these things take time, and in the meantime, a lot of the gas we use comes from Eastern Europe. This is the third problem that worries Italians. It seems that the invasion of Ukraine by Russia could be imminent. This is something the Europeans and Italians are not ready for. Ukraine is a less than 3 hours flight from Italy, and we have many Ukrainians living here in our country, perfectly integrated with the rest of us. Italy is one of the countries in the West that risks paying a worse price in the event of war, precisely because it would be exposed to an energy shock on gas. Moreover, as part of its participation in NATO, Italy will send 1,000 soldiers, alpini and bersaglieri, to Eastern Europe. They will be used for deterrence, training and exercises. The mission, in any case, will have to obtain the green light from the Italian Parliament, and we hope that the employment of our soldiers will stop here. It's all for now, it's all for today. I'll see you next Thursday. My name is Umberto Mucci, this was We the ItaliaNews. Please stay safe, take care, stay healthy, protect yourselves. Ciao from Rome.